Welcome to another Leagues Cup watch along. Tonight we have Tigres and Inter Miami. Couple players out for Inter Miami. Busquets is playing, I think, are coming off the bench. Suarez did not travel with the team tonight. It looks like there was a report earlier by Jake Zevin. I don't know if you guys caught this, saying that Messi actually had gotten his boot off, which is a good sign for his ankle. So hopefully he'll be able to play sooner than later. This should be a fun game tonight, nonetheless, to see two giants, Inter Miami and Tigres, go at it. Be an interesting game to see what happens. A lot of people think these two teams are the favorites for Leagues Cup this year. I don't know. I think it'll be interesting to see. I don't know if the Liga MX team will even make it to the final this year, just because they don't seem to care about the tournament as much as MLS does, as we've seen so far. The game is about to kick off. We'll pull up the starting 11. Let me look that up real quick. We'll get that pulled up. Let's see. Inter Miami versus Tigres. Trying to remember. Okay, here it is. Sofa score. Here we go. All right, we'll stream this. All right, there we go. Yeah, it should be an interesting game. We'll see what happens. Like I said, Inter Miami's got a couple people out. Tigres is a very formidable club, coached by former Chicago Fire manager Veljko Paunovic. Very good manager, or at least he had been in Liga MX. He was really good at Chivas. They moved off of him earlier this year, or at the end of last year, and he takes over for Tigres. It'll be interesting to see how they play tonight against Inter Miami. I don't know what Tigres' current standing is in Liga MX. I mean, obviously the season just started, but I think they were doing somewhat well, right? They weren't too bad. Okay, so they're in third right now. They're actually tied. They're technically in third, but they're tied for first, got the same amount of points as Pumas and Cruz Azul in the Apertura, I think is what the first part of the season's called. And Tigres is currently number one, tied for number one in Liga MX, 4 games in. Inter Miami is obviously in first place in the MLS standings. They're currently in the driver's seat for Leagues Cup. A lot of people think that they're going to win Leagues Cup this year. I'm sorry, the Supporter Shield this year. Inter Miami. A lot of people think they're going to win the Supporter Shield this year. What's up, MLS Moves? How have you been? Good, man. Been doing a lot of streams lately. Had a stream earlier today about the U.S. men's national team coaching search and kind of an update on that. Been doing a lot of these extra streams lately. Hope you guys have been enjoying those. This is our first. It's our first Leagues Cup stream in a couple nights. I think it's been 4 days since we've done a Leagues Cup stream, so it's nice to be able to watch a game with you guys again. See what happens. You got any predictions for tonight? Who's going to win? Game's in Houston, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's at NRG Stadium. You guys have any predictions on what the score is going to be tonight against Tigres and Inter Miami? Is there any score predictions? I'm going to go 2-1 Tigres. I think Tigres is going to win tonight. Let me look and see. Is Gignac okay, so he's not starting tonight. Is he on the bench? Okay, he is on the bench. I mean, we don't have much confidence in Leonardo Campana, right? I mean, I don't have a lot of confidence in him. This is a very watered down Inter Miami starting 11 tonight. The back four looks good. That's like the first choice back four, and obviously Drake Calendar's playing. You got Federico Redondo. Matias Rojas has been a star this year for Inter Miami. Julian Gressel playing on the right wing. Don't really love him there. Robert Taylor's obviously always reliable and been a very good Leagues Cup player, right? That's where he kind of made his name was last year in Leagues Cup. So not a terrible starting 11. Obviously, I think that you look at what Tigres has. I like their starting 11 a little better, but we'll see what happens. Both of these teams have advanced to the next round of Leagues Cup, so it should be interesting to see what happens. Kelvin says he thinks it's going to be 2-1, 2-1 Tigres, 2-1 Inter Miami. Who do you think will win? 1-1, but a penalty. Inter Miami will win. I mean, that's been the trend, right? The MLS teams have been winning on penalties in this tournament, so that has definitely been the trend. Leagues Cup this year isn't fun because Liga MX sides are playing their bench. Yeah, I agree, Isaac. I agree that they are definitely not trying like they were last year. But if you remember, they were saying that like Monterrey, when they came back from Leagues Cup last year, that they were so fatigued and gassed from trying to win this and really trying that it really affected their regular season last year. I don't really remember what place they finished in the Apertura portion of the season. Monterrey, I can look real quick and see. Okay, so they finished fourth, but a lot of people thought that Monterrey was the best team in Liga MX last year. Oh, sorry, that wasn't okay. Never mind. Let me see. Oh, they finished in second place, but a lot of people thought they could have won it, but they were gassed because of how far they had made it in the Leagues Cup. So, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, it seems like there's a lot of teams that are definitely not taking it as seriously as normal. They're just kind of they're not bashing the tournament. They're keeping their mouths shut. They're not talking negatively about it, and they're just kind of like cruising by, and they're not really trying. So we'll see what the end result is. It's a numbers game. There's going to be Liga MX teams advancing just because that's just the way the numbers work. Question is, how many of them are going to advance? That's the real question. There's the round of 32. I think there'll probably be 7 to 8 Liga MX teams advancing into the round of 32. It will be interesting to see what happens. It'll be, another thing too. You got to keep in mind is these teams make moves during Leagues Cup. They sign players. Last year, they signed several teams signed a bunch of players and added to their roster during Leagues Cup to make a push for it. So I think that is something to keep an eye on. Tigres Miami ends a 2-2 draw. Miami wins on penalties. Yeah, that's what people think. If it does go to penalties, I think the MLS side has the advantage for sure. It will be interesting to see what happens and how serious they take it. I mean, I feel like Inter Miami definitely has a soft spot for this tournament because this was their first major trophy they'd ever won, and they won it with Messi last year. So I think they do have a soft spot, sentimental for this tournament. I think they're going to try to win, but Tata Martino did say that this was a perfect game to rotate players, and that's because neither one of these teams are really jeopardizing anything. They're both advancing to the next round, but I am curious to see how both of them look. I want to see what they look like head to head. Looks like the crowd is not too good, honestly, for this game. Looks kind of empty, honestly. Looks very empty right now. A lot of open seats at NRG Stadium um in Houston, Texas. Doesn't look too good. Says that the squad values for Miami is 105 million and for Tigres is 70 million. Tigres made it to the round of 16 in 2023 Leagues Cup, and obviously Inter Miami won it. That's interesting. Can you guys hear the volume through my headset? You guys hear that the volume from the game? I'll make sure you guys can hear that. Okay, good. Sounds good. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why they're. I guess they're playing in a they're playing in a big stadium because they want to. They thought that there was going to be more of a draw, and probably Messi was going to influence this game with how many people were there. But that's not the case. Not many people are there. Um, very honestly pathetic attendance for this match. Not many people. Not many people at all. Guys, make sure you like the show down below. Subscribe to the channel. We are 12 subscribers away. 12 subscribers away from 4,000 subs. So close to our goal. Make sure you subscribe. Share with a friend. We want all the Inter Miami, Tigres, MLS fans to join us tonight. Watch this game. See what happens. So share this with a friend. Hit the little bell notification so you never miss a video. We're here to have a good time. It's going to be a fun 2 hours. Always love doing these live streams, watching these games with you guys. This is the funnest part. It still looks weird with Campana with the new haircut, the blonde short hair. I'm used to like the locks, the long black hair. Should be interesting. So the winner tonight will take East 3 is what they just said. I'll have to look up that. I'll have to look it up later and see who they end up playing. I want to say that they said the winner of this game will play Pachuca, if I'm not mistaken. Also, too, keep in mind this kind of got swept under the rug because of the whole Griezmann and the other news, Giroud being announced by LAFC. Inter Miami just traded for an international roster spot with Colorado yesterday. Keep an eye on that. That means that they probably have something lined up. Have something lined up, and because they want to compete, they're trying to win an MLS Cup this year. They see what Inter Miami's doing, or I'm sorry, LAFC's doing. They're trying to keep up. David Day is a member of the channel. Two teams who think they're one of these big clubs in their league. So you don't think they are big clubs? You don't think Tigres and Inter Miami are big clubs? Okay, so Pachuca and Toronto play tomorrow. The winner of that will play. Okay, so the winner of that game will play the winner of this game. Interesting. I still wonder what they're going to do if what are they going to do if Liga MX teams do obviously shit the bed and they don't make it anywhere relevant in this tournament? What are they going to do for the near future? Because nobody's going to want to watch it. We've already discussed about how some people are boycotting it already, but if Liga MX teams really do throw the towel in and don't perform well in this tournament, I wonder what they're going to do next year. Because if Liga MX teams don't care, then then why even play the tournament? What's the point? I mean, it is nice to have three extra CONCACAF Champions spots, but CONCACAF Champions Cup spots, but they're not as big as they think. No. I mean, Inter Miami is pretty big on the international stage now, right? Tigres has been pretty competitive. No, the Pachuca and Toronto winner plays the second place team of this group. Okay. Then who does the winner play? Does the winner play the loser of that group? So the loser of this game plays the winner of that game. Does the is that just flip flopped? Also, Houston as a soccer town and market. Are you saying like Houston is not a good soccer town? Saying Tigres isn't a big club is like saying the Kansas City Chiefs aren't big. Who's bigger, the Chiefs or the Cowboys? Who would you rather be? I mean, the Cowboys have a very big brand, but the Chiefs are the winners now. So I mean, they definitely are, a big team. Tigres is big in my eyes. I think they're a very big club. At least have been the last 10 years, right? I've only been keeping up with Liga MX probably the last decade. But I would assume that I know that they've been big the last 10 years, but I mean, I don't know what their historically, I don't know if they are considered a big club, but I know the last 10 years they definitely have been just because they've won a lot. Guido Pizarro, isn't that funny? He went to Sevilla, very good player, went to Sevilla, didn't do so well there, and comes back to Tigres after a year, and then that he used to play defensive midfielder. Now he's like more of a center back. Um, but that was like one of the players, a prime example of like the comparison between MLS and Liga MX, that he was a center defensive midfield or a defensive midfielder, excuse me, and they paid like $8 million for him, and he would have been a DP in MLS terms. But they have several guys like that in Liga MX. I'm honestly jealous. I wish we could do what they do. I guess Redondo would be like the closest comparison to what Pizarro is, and he's technically not a DP. So that's nice. We can, sort of kind of sign more players like that quality. Who knows? Redondo might actually be better than Pizarro. I don't know. When it's all said and done, he might be better. Maybe he is better right now. What's funny is I actually got roasted because of a take with Julian Gressel, right? Julian Gressel was absolutely abysmal at the beginning of this season with Miami. Terrible, okay? Everybody watched knew that he was bad. Everybody knew he was bad. And I got people were digging up my old tweets saying, "Oh, hot take, freezing cold take." It's like, dude, he was bad at the beginning of the year. He wasn't good. He's gotten better now, but he was terrible at the beginning of the season. He was horrible. You mentioned the attendance looking weak. It's Houston, it's Tigres, it's Inter Miami without Messi. All three sort of overestimated. Yeah, I agree. If Messi was playing, it definitely would have been probably close to full house. And Gignac would have played, and it would have probably been, way more fan interest. I haven't looked up what the ticket prices are for this game. I think the League's Cup ticket prices have actually been pretty reasonable this year because there's been less interest. Haven't looked and seen what tickets we're going for. I think one of the Liga MX teams will make it to the semifinal, and I think it would be Club America. No, I think Club America, they're like the real deal this year, right? Isn't that what they're saying? Club America's back. There's only been 4 games, so I haven't paid attention much to Liga MX thus far. But Club America's having a. I mean, they look pretty solid, right? Aren't they having more like a resurgence? Let's see. Okay, so they're currently in ninth place right now. But aren't they supposed to have like one of the best, like the best team in Liga MX this year? Problem with Tigres specifically is all the players that are good are old. They haven't really had the same like Gignac, Pizarro, Guzman. They've been here for so long. They're not replacing their old stars. Like they should have. Like Gignac is still very good, but they need to replace him. Like they need to have a plan for his successor. I mean, he's like almost 39 years old. He's been playing here for almost 10 years, which is crazy to think, right? That Gignac has been in Liga MX for almost 10 years. Some people think he's the best player in Liga MX history. I haven't followed the league long enough to know that, but I've heard a lot of people say they think Gignac is the best player in Liga MX history. Do you guys think he is? Do you think, I mean, it's an interesting point. Now, Inter Miami has obviously like had a revolving door at center back with their team. They had Christoph who got hurt. They signed Freire, who was supposed to be a solidified option for them in the back. They signed Toto Alvarez last year. He's been inexperienced and he hasn't really. He's been inconsistent, I guess is what I should say. He hasn't been very good like they thought he would be, especially for what they paid for him. And they just signed Dave Martinez on loan from River Plate. If they could get their center back situation and their defense figured out, this team would be scary. I mean, Jordi Alba's good. Wingate is okay, I guess, at fullback. He's good for MLS standards. Not too bad. The midfield's obviously solid. It looks like Diego Gomez is going to be staying with them at least until the end of the year. There is a lot of talent on this team. They just need to get that back four solidified. And I think they're going to make another move in the back, honestly. I think that's what the international spot's for. They really don't need anything else in the attack. Oh, is that not a penalty? Dude, that has to be a penalty, right? Are they just letting them play? Are they just letting them play tonight? Hmm. Is today the final? Today the League's Cup final? No, no, no. This just started. This is the group stage still. This is the final's not until August 24th. Ooh, Flores is cooking right now. Starting to open up a little bit. Things are starting to open up a little bit. Tigres is starting to. I still think that was a penalty on. They fouled Rojas in the. Damn, they're getting chippy. Love it. Manuel Villalobos, a member of the MLS Moves. I appreciate the support, by the way, in becoming a member. He says, I want a Pachuca versus Columbus rematch. Hey, that would be interesting, honestly. That would be interesting to get the redemption and if see if Columbus could win this time. But they'll say, even if they do win, they'll say, well, yeah, it was on American soil, it doesn't count. So they'll say it's even or it doesn't count if they did win. I really don't understand the rules for MLS, what they are trying to change. Wait, are you saying you don't you obviously don't understand the rules, but are you asking why do they have these rules? Are you actually asking what are they trying to change? There's a lot that MLS needs to change, but I just want to make sure I'm reading your question right. You know what's sad is that they could have last summer after all the hype and everything that happened, they could have sold so many players. Inter Miami could have. They had trade offers for Taylor. Oh, Campana, come on, Campana. Ah, they could have sold or traded Robert Taylor. They could have traded and sold Campana. They had like a $5 million offer for Drake Callender, and they turned it down. $5 million, $6 million offer for Drake Callender. Think about that. They turned it down. Isn't that crazy? I think that's pretty wild. I mean, Drake Callender has he's he's not see what Rojas was going to do. He's not bad, but if someone's offering you 5 to 6 million for Drake Callender, why the hell would you not take that? Honestly, why would you not take that? That makes no sense at all. Ooh, what if Jordi Alba scored that? That would have been crazy. Ooh. Manuel says Inter is utilizing the senior Barca players to help develop their young players. Yeah, I think they are actually. I think okay. A lot of people think that Redondo is a spitting image of Sergio Busquets, right? What better player could Redondo sit behind and learn or play next to and learn from than Sergio Busquets? I think this is a good mentality to have some of these younger players learn behind some of these legends or learn not behind them, but learn while playing next to them. I think that's a good strategy, honestly. That's what they should do. I mean, how do these players in Europe, all these great young players, I mean, they're learning from some of the veterans. That's what you kind of want a good mixture of both. Like I heard that y'all want to change how much money they spend or something like that. Yeah, I mean, all the fans do, but the owners don't. The owners want to keep it the same. The fans want them to spend like crazy. It honestly, no joke. Some of you will say this is a cope, but this is on. I honestly believe this. It actually is impressive how competitive MLS teams can be with Liga MX teams, considering the financial restraints that we have. I did like a not a chart, but like a breakdown last year of Liga MX teams, how many DPs they would have if they had MLS rules, like how many DP uh, players would be on each team. And I want to say that Monterrey and Tigres had like 13 DPs on their team last year. 13. MLS has three. Three. So, I mean, you can't blame Liga MX for your spending. It's all on you. I'm not going to blame Liga MX for that. Ooh, Taylor. Ooh. It's gonna be interesting to see what Inter Miami and LAFC look like when they play each other this year. When if they add all those players, it's gonna be a crazy matchup. Ooh, it's getting chippy out there. It's a nice touch by Julian Gressel a minute ago. Can't believe Guzman is still playing. So Guzman played for Tata Martino at New Old Boys in 2012, 2013. That's crazy. You should update that comparison video. Yeah, it was a tweet, but yeah, I mean that would be interesting to do something like that to show like what the difference would be like if they had MLS rules. Ooh, goal. Wow. Mm, wow. What do you think about that goal? Liga MX player this season, they say. Brunetta. That was a nice goal. What do you guys think about that goal? Wow. What a goal. What a goal. Trey Calendar, man. That was a sick goal. Chef's kiss. Yeah, that was a great goal. That was crazy. Wow. Hey, this might get ugly. Who knows? This might be. I said 2-1 Inter Miami. This might be an ugly match. This might be. Who knows? This could be 3-4 nil Tigres. Tigres is 4-0 when they're undefeated this year when scoring first, and they've lost when they concede first. Wow. See, the problem is with Miami is that they don't really have anybody they can lean on right now. They have a lot of good supporting players, but like Campana is not going to lead this team right now. They need a Suarez or a Messi out there to really tie everything together. They just if you're relying on Campana, you're in trouble. Uh oh. God, they just look so much. They look so much more fluid and faster, and like that ball is just coming out. The passing is way more crisp right now with Tigres. Would you would you believe that the Tigres is the team that's only played 4 games versus Miami, who's played 25 games this year? Which team looks more in form right now? Oh, I'm wondering if Toto Alvarez is going to make it, honestly, because he was subject to some trade rumors a couple weeks ago, and I think they might be ready to move off of him. He's been very disappointing, honestly, when you look at his price tag with Inter Miami. He's only 19 years old. He might be 20 now, but he either 19 or 20 years old. They spent like $7.5 million for him, which is a crazy amount for a center back. And he's been very disappointing. A lot of people thought maybe it was just the youth. He needed some time to develop, but Toto Alvarez has been very disappointing so far for Inter Miami. They need a veteran. They need someone who can be a strong presence back there, not leak as many goals. And I'm telling you, I think they wouldn't mind moving off of him. I just wish MLS could at least or could it add at least 2 more DPs in the league. I think that would be enough for us to start winning Champions Cup. Yeah, if they added 2 more DPs, that's a game changer. 5 DPs per team would significantly increase the quality of the team, honestly. Significantly. Inter Miami is not playing their best lineup. Why Luis Suarez is not playing? I think they're just ooh, Ibanez close with the header. I think that they're just wanting to rest him because he's older and his knees are not very good, obviously, and they're this game doesn't really matter because each team is going to advance. But I think they just want him to rest for the next round so they can advance. Tony Fiddler says Gressel in the midfield doesn't work. He only shined when Messi left and took his position up front. Yeah, but that's the thing. I don't like Gressel as a winger. I like him more as a like a wing back or as a right back. He's definitely a good facilitator and his crosses are very good. I just think he's too slow to play on the wing. I don't think he's creative enough throughout the game to play a full match on the wing. I really ideally you don't want him starting, honestly. Ooh. Now the question is, if they still have some issues at center back, does Inter Miami keep playing Busquets at center back? Because here's the issue they have, right? They've got Matias Rojas, they have Redondo, which I like Rojas in the midfield more than I like him on the wing. They have Rojas, Redondo, Gomez, and Busquets. Okay, you got 4, and they play obviously 3 in the mid. To get the best starting 11 on the field, do you play Busquets at center back next to Martinez if Toto Alvarez is struggling? I think that could work, right? I think that would probably be the smart move just to make sure you get all the because I think at this point you have to play Redondo, Rojas, and Gomez in the midfield. I think that's who you got to play in the midfield. Busquets at center back, especially at his age. Now the only thing that sucks is you're paying a center back $10 million a year. That's a lot of money. It's a lot of money in MLS to be paying a center back $10 million a year. Tata made a mistake putting Gressel on the wing, thinking Rojas and Bright are going to push up higher at this tempo the game is being played. Yeah, I just can't. Oh, Flores almost made it 2-0. Tigres close. I don't know. This just feels like a beatdown. I just don't see the creativity on the Inter Miami side. I just feel like they're playing defensive the whole game. They're playing they're playing on their heels. Ooh. Mm. It's another thing that sucks too. All these tournaments just make the depth so weak. The depth is just so poor in MLS because of all these teams, man. They're the Olympics, the U20 or U20 tournament, Copa America. There's just so many players that miss key matches because they, you know, they don't have depth to replace these guys too. Like the key players are missing and they don't have quality depth to replace them. I mean, there's like what 3, 4, 5 starters out for Inter Miami tonight that aren't playing. The screen just went black. Yeah, there it is. Now the question is, when Messi does come back, what is this team going to look like? I mean, they're clearly in the driver's seat right now. Like I said earlier, for the supporter shield, are they still the favorites to win MLS Cup? Do you guys think that Inter Miami is going to win MLS Cup? Hmm. Corner. Oh, hmm. Cleared by Guzman. God, Flores is just so quick. Marcelo Flores looks really good. Uh-oh. Pulled up. His team is just so this feels like just a superior team. Are we gonna have a League Cup next year? I think so. I mean, they haven't officially announced it, but I would assume so. I think that this is gonna be I mean, seems like this is gonna be a regular thing. Mm. Now, if Tigres was playing all their players, I wonder how much different this would be. If Gignac was still is Gignac still considered their best player on their team? MLS needs to put added pressure on the rosters. I know the B squads don't add to the senior team rosters, but they're added players to the overall team budget. So are you saying that they need to expand the roster size? Because the B squads, I know the B squads don't add to the senior team rosters, but they are added players to the overall team budget. I mean, they just need to be able to add. Okay, the perfect example right here. Okay, Matias Rojas. He's a TAM player. They need so teams need to have like 5 or 6 of him. He's a great depth piece. He's not necessarily. He wasn't signed to be a starter. He was signed to be a messy. Oh, is that a headbutt? Oh, that looked like a headbutt. So he's got a yellow. Who is that? Looked like he headbutt him. Okay, so both players get a yellow. But Matias Rojas we need more players like Matias Rojas in MLS. Like teams need like 5 or 6 of that quality player. So more chirping with Campana. It looks like Reyes are talking right now. Get a little chippy. Who was it that headbutted Rojas? Okay, so it looked like Rojas actually put his face in front of um, the Tigres player's face first. It looked like he kind of like headbutted him a little bit first. Head, yeah. I don't think either one of them deserve a red. I agree with Taylor on this. I don't think they deserve a red. Nothing crazy. I thought it looked worse in the first look at it, but it didn't look like it was too crazy. Now, here's one thing to think about too. So obviously, Liga MX and MLS have this merger where they're playing all-star games together, they're playing tournaments together. What would you guys think about if these two leagues merged one day? What if you take the best teams from Liga MX, the best teams from MLS, and made a super like North American League, I guess, which how you would call it, Super North American League. Like take the best clubs from MLS, take the best clubs from Liga MX, and make one league. What would you think about that? That's been a discussion. Some people think that could happen one day. Liga MX MLS merger. So an increase the salary cap to 10 million and allow for more TAM type players. Here's the thing: you got to have TAM too, because if you don't have, it's so confusing. But you have to use your TAM to buy down their salary below the 600K, which is the max a player can make without being a DP spot. So even if you raise the cap, you're also going to have to raise TAM so you can spend that on players to buy their salaries down, if that makes any sense. So the third yellow this game? Why just MLS and Liga MX bring Coast? Why doesn't Liga MX MLS teams bring Costa Rica League, Honduras League, and or any other league to Central America to help for the other league? Well, I don't think they necessarily care about helping those leagues. Honestly, I think they believe their opportunity to grow as a league is during the CONCACAF Champions Cup. I don't think they really want to help those leagues out, which is sad because obviously helping them out would really help the tournament, the respectability for the league, and they don't. They just don't care about that. Sadly, it'd be nice if we could help Jamaica, Honduras, El Salvador, Costa Rica, all these countries, their leagues help them get better because that just makes the competition better, makes the national teams better. Rising tide lifting all boats. It's a nice pass by Gressel. I just can't believe how empty this stadium is. It's crazy. I'm gonna look up what the ticket prices were for this game. Tigres versus Inter Miami, Houston tickets. StubHub. Here we go. So the cheapest tickets were $29 each, and they're kind of nosebleeds, like fringe nosebleeds, I guess. Oh, I'm sorry, $26 is the best price, or the lowest price. $26 for tickets to this game. That's crazy. Ooh, Redondo close. Let's see, what was the most expensive? Two Tigres says. We'll look back. We'll circle back to that. It's another foul on Tigres. So chippy. Why is Inter Miami not playing at the Houston Dynamo in MLS this season? Well, because there's so many teams in MLS now, they don't play every team. even once a season now. They LAFC played New York Red Bulls for the first time in 4 years this year. First time in 4 years. Tigres is threatening. Oh, that's close. Is it Bernetta again?
Well, the best attacking players in the world have a sixth sense of where the ball's going to be and when it's going to be there. And every single time you watch Juan Bernetta.
Oh, that was close. I'm telling you, Miami's like sleepwalking. They're not even trying right now. Tigres is mopping the floor with Inter Miami right now. This game could get ugly. Like it's already on the cusp of getting ugly right now, and I think things are going to really open up in the second half. We do elbow him.
What's the yellow part for?
What did he do? Did he elbow him in the face? Campana? Okay, here we go. Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. He straight elbowed him right in the nose.
You call the foul, I get it. But any center forward will tell you you're just putting your
Okay. I'll turn it down. Sorry, I didn't know you guys could hear that. Appreciate it. I thought I had it turned off to where you can't hear audio from videos, but I guess not. I don't even know if I can change that. Was it too loud? Maybe if I turn it down a little bit. Maybe I'll turn it down just a little bit.
The way he sees the game is always about your reaction.
I'll turn it down very, very low.
So when Bernetta goes and finds the game and chases the game, he doesn't want him out of position to immediately react. This game means something.
When is the last time? I'm gonna look this up. When is the last time Tigres won a trophy in Liga MX? Because Tuca Ferretti obviously was the manager for a long time, and he was really good. Let's see. I'm just curious when the last time. I don't think they've won a trophy in a while, right? Maybe they won one trophy under. Actually, they did. They won in Clausura 2023. I think they did. That's what it says. Okay, yeah, they did. So that was their last trophy that they won. Before that, it was the Clausura 2019. But I guess they did. So they won the Campeone Campeones Cup, or what is this? Campeón de Campeones. They won that in 2023. And then did they win the? Okay, so they won the Champions League in 2020. And they won the Campeones Cup in 2023. So who was the manager in 2023? Who was their manager? Because Tuca Ferretti hasn't been there in a while, right? What the heck? Let's see. I don't think Tuca Ferretti was there when they won their last champ. Maybe it was Miguel Herrera. Maybe it was El Piojo. For you, who is the best club in the region? Probably. Oh, this is going to be a hot take. I think maybe LAFC is the best team in the region. I think once they get Griezmann, once LAFC gets Griezmann, that they're going to be the best team in North America. They'll be better than any Liga MX team. They'll be better than any MLS team. I don't know if anybody will beat them. Hell, they might be able to compete with some South American teams when they sign Griezmann. Honestly, I know some people might think that's a bad take, but honestly, I think they might be able to compete with some South American teams once they sign Griezmann and get him implemented with Giroud. That's the next thing I want to see this do. I want to see us start competing with South American teams. We kind of know that Liga MX and MLS are very close. Liga MX still has the advantages overall, but I want to see how we compare against some of these big South American teams, the Brazilian teams, the Argentinian teams. That's what I'm looking for. Wouldn't it be nice to see Tigres or Inter Miami play River Plate or Boca Juniors? That's the next step I want to take. I wouldn't be surprised either to see one day when MLS gets more prevalent and obviously a little bit more established. I would not be surprised to see some type of merger or tournament with Premier League teams in MLS for the summer. When they're like have some Premier League teams come over here for a couple weeks during the summer and have a tournament. Now that probably won't happen for several years, but I could totally see that happening down the road because of the money it would make. Imagine how much money a Premier League MLS tournament would make. It would be insane. Now MLS would get stomped. I don't even know if they'd win a game. They'd probably get absolutely embarrassed. But I'd be curious to see if it would happen, see what would happen in that scenario. Ooh, Wingate was with a terrible pass. My God, Flores is cooking right now. Where did Flores come from? They said they bought him this past season. Tigres roster. Let's see where he came from recently. Okay, so he is a Mexican international, and they bought him from Arsenal. Okay, he's good, and he is 20 years old. So damn, he's young too. What'd they pay for him? Let's see. So his name is Marcelo Flores. Let's go look and see what they paid for him. Really good player. Obviously that's another thing that people complain about with Liga MX is that all their better players, their young prospects, are coming back too soon. Wow, so his transfer market value is only $2 million? Really? They only paid $815K for him? What a steal. I think he's arguably, besides Brunetta, he's been the most noticeable player on the pitch tonight. It's been Flores. He's looked good. The hell was that? Oh, here we go. What are you doing, Taylor? See, Taylor has flashes, but he's just so inconsistent. That's why I honestly didn't want him to start. And when they signed Facundo Frias, I was looking forward to him playing because Robert Taylor has flashes, but let's be honest, he's better utilized as a depth piece, a bench player. You don't want him being your number one guy or your starting left winger. You want him to be a rotational bench player. One sec. I think Danny Solana is going to actually join us at halftime. See what he thinks about this. Let's see. I'm going to text him real quick. I think he wanted to come by for the halftime. Get his thoughts on the game. Four minutes of added time. 1-0 Tigres over Inter Miami. Not been a good performance from Inter Miami so far. You see a lot of the deficiencies as a team. Oh my God. I don't know how that wasn't a foul on God, they're playing so sloppy. I don't know how that wasn't a foul on Gressel. He just absolutely sideswiped that guy. I think Gressel might be injured. The way he's holding his hands behind his head and the way his body language, he looks like he might be hurt. Can they get a goal before the half? Oh, he looked like he's offside. Oh, Gressel, what are you doing, man? Okay, it was offside anyway. See, you're seeing a lot of deficiencies in this Inter Miami team of why, yeah, he was clearly offside. You're seeing a lot of deficiencies with this Inter Miami team or their vulnerabilities as a team. Even if you say this game, they're not taking it too serious. You can see the deficiencies and why they're vulnerable. And like a team of LAFC's caliber could beat them handily. It's going to be an interesting supporter shield race down the end. See who wins the supporter shield for MLS. A lot of good teams competing. Inter Miami are in the driver's seat, but let's see if they can capitalize and finish it off. See if they can win it. It was a nice flick. That was offside. Yeah, Gressel just looks like he's a step behind. Yep. That's what told me to say. He looks like he's a second too slow. He just looks kind of out of it tonight. I don't know. He looks like he's just either fatigued. He's just making. He's just a step behind on decisions and passes aren't crisp. He's not looking too good on the wing tonight.
It causes a little bit of an issue for Tigres.
At halftime, when Danny comes or swings by, we're going to look at the transfer market values of Inter Miami's team and Tigres, just to compare and contrast, see what the difference is in spending, see what the players were worth, what they spent on them. Just curious to see. They said before the game it was 70 to 105 million, 70 million Tigres, 105 to Inter Miami. But you have to think Messi's number kind of inflates that a lot because I think he's still worth like 30 million on the transfer market, maybe 35 million. Okay, that's the halftime whistle. Brunetta or Flores were probably the two best players on the pitch for me in the first half. Not a good half for Inter Miami. Worst half I've seen them play in a while, honestly. I do not think that was a good half. Honestly, Tigres could have been up 2-3-0, honestly. Could have easily been up 2-3-0. Not a good first half. Inter Miami's and what kind of adjustments? What are they going to be able to do in the second half? They could put Busquets in, but is he really going to make a difference? Cello has nothing offensively. Yeah, he's just I don't know. He looked good the first couple games for Inter Miami when he came, but like he's been very inconsistent. Has not looked very good. The last several months, he has not looked good, and he's not played well, in my opinion. Let's look that up real quick. Let's look at the transfer market for Tigres. Just curious to see what their salary or their value is of their team. Okay. So their most valuable player is Brunetta, $10 million for Brunetta. So what do they have their total value at? Let's see, we're 64 million euros. Okay. So not as high as you would think, but they also have where's Gignac at? Guzman at 600K. Okay, so they have Gignac at 800K at this point. What about Pizarro? Do I see Pizarro? Where's he at? Pizarro. What is he worth these days? Am I just missing him? Where's Pizarro at? I'll look at the numbers. He's number 19. Oh, here he is. Okay. Guido Pizarro, 1.2 million. See, a lot of these veteran players are still good, just aren't worth a lot on transfer market. But I mean, they have a very good team. There's just a lot of older players. Let's see what Inter Miami's got going on. Okay. So Inter Miami is around 89 or 97 million dollars. Most valuable player is going to be Messi, obviously. Okay, so yeah, Messi's worth 30 million. Redondo's worth 8 million. Gomez is worth 8 million. Aviles is worth 6 million. Frias isn't playing. So you see the difference here. I mean, it's on paper definitely more in Inter Miami's favor, but on the field, you would never know the difference. Oh, we have Daniel Solana here. Danny, how's it going, man?
Good evening. How's it going?
Ah, man, this has been it's been I don't know, not a very interesting game so far, honestly.
I happen to differ. I think it's been a super entertaining game. You've had a couple. I mean, you've had an excellent goal by Tigres.
That was
Unfortunately, it came off of a defensive error. Something that Inter Miami is still working out the kinks to is coming out of the back, and that's something that Tata's been focusing on lately. But I think it's been back and forth. There's been a couple of interesting tackles, or I guess confrontations involved with Matias Rojas and the player from from Tigres. I'm used to the yellow jerseys and saying America, and then the other one now at the end with Campana, that he got a yellow card and it didn't even look like it. It should have been any. I mean, it could have been a foul. Didn't look like for a yellow, but overall, I think the referee's done a decent job, and I think it's been maybe a low scoring. Not something that we expected. We all expected a higher scoring game, but I think it's been a decent game in terms of going back and forth.
Yeah, the only reason I say it's been a bad game, I'm talking about more from an Inter Miami perspective, because it feels like they looked really good in the beginning, and then Tigres has kind of turned it on, and they just don't really have that firepower to really compete with Tigres right now because of all the players they have missing. If they had Suarez out there, I would feel a lot better. You and I both don't have confidence in Campana to be able to put this back on his team and score. So who are they going to get that goal from? You have all these role players who are good when they have that star in front of them to kind of set things up. But when they're all the role players together, it's really hard for them to take over and do what needs to be done. That's my whole concern so far. And they just look really tired, look gassed, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, and they could be. Remember, they're coming off of a stretch of playing with a lot of players out of the rotation, players going to play in Copa America, players now that are at the Olympics. Fortunately, unfortunately for their countries, but fortunately for Inter Miami, both Benjamin Cremaschi and Diego Gomez will be back within the team, hopefully within the next week. So hopefully they'll feature in next Thursday's match at Chase Stadium. But absolutely, I mean, I think you nailed it on the head. The fact that Tata doesn't rotate enough is something that's been talked about definitely within the Inter Miami fan base. And he did rotate a little bit last game. We saw the introduction of David Martinez, the new center back. He's there in again. And we saw CJ Dos Santos, a stellar goalkeeper who unfortunately has been sitting behind Drake Callender, who, again, this is his tournament, right? Everybody said this is Drake's tournament. It's Drake's cup. He won it last year. He was the one responsible for blocking the PK and making the one clinching the title. So it was a big surprise to a lot of the fan base that he was out last game. He's back in goal this game. Other than that golazo, he's been very strong under the pipes. He had a couple of great saves. And I think I think for your question in terms of where they're going to get their goals, I think they're going to look for set pieces, corner kicks, some sort of set piece, dead ball, where they can get a free kick and try to get one of their defenders, maybe Toto Aviles, maybe it's David Martinez, maybe it's Sergio Busquets when he comes in the second half, to get some sort of goal like that. And possibly they hold on for penalties. I think that's kind of where they're at right now in terms of what we can expect out of Inter Miami in the second half.
I asked the chat a very interesting question, and I want to get your opinion on this. We talk all the time about Inter Miami stuff, and it's one thing that's kind of like it's been a common question, I think, for a lot of fans, especially Inter Miami fans. So Matias Rojas is a better player in the midfielder at this point, right? He's very good in the midfield. Redondo is a very good center defensive midfielder, obviously, and Diego Gomez is a great midfielder. Those are the three best midfielders, I think, right now. And Busquets is obviously very good, but you want to have all of them on the field, right? With the troubles they have at the back line, are they going to play Busquets at center back the rest of the year to make sure those three guys are all four guys are on the pitch? Do you think that's
so?
happen?
I don't think so. So, Inter Miami just traded, for some extra GAM, or they traded some money for an international roster spot. So there's, there are still rumblings that they're going to bring in another center back. There's rumblings that the center back could be a center back from their Inter Miami 2 team who was signed off of Boca Juniors earlier this year. So there is talks that it could be that person, that player who occupies that international roster spot. Of course, there were rumblings of Gaston Silva, a Uruguayan center back, left back who plays for Puebla earlier this summer. I don't think Chris Henderson and the Inter Miami office is done yet in the transfer window. We've seen a lot of movement over the last couple of days, and I think we still have a couple more weeks left in the window. And so I expect, Inter Miami to be aggressive over the next, week or two in looking for a center back, because obviously Busquets gives you what you might need back in the back line as a center back. But I think Tata and as well as Busquets, want him to play in the midfield. And one player that you failed to mention who's had an absolutely fantastic year is the rookie Yannick Bright, who's been filling in amongst all these absences throughout the year. And he's done a fantastic job playing that center defensive midfield role. So that's another, kind of wild card or variable that Tata Martino has to play with now, for the rest of the League Cup and for the rest of the MLS season. So I don't think with the way he's playing, you can take Bright out. I think the person who's going to be, shifted around might be a Redondo, possibly a Matias Rojas with Diego Gomez coming back. So you might see a midfield of maybe a Bright who can kind of play that sweeper in the midfielder role and allow Busquets to get more up the field. And I think that's what at least that's what I'm expecting. And I think that's what Tata's idea is for Busquets, to be able to get up and help, Messi, Suarez up in the midfield, where they might not have a natural kind of number 10 in there right now, especially with Messi gone.
Now, do you think that Inter Miami are going to try to get another left winger? Obviously, Facundo Frias is going to take that spot next year when he's healthy. They could have a DP spot open right now if they wanted to with Campana. They could buy him down. Do you think they will sign another winger, or do you think it will be a center back and done for Inter Miami?
I think it's going to be a center back and done. That's what I think it's going to be. They just re-signed Robert Taylor to a new contract, so that and you and I have talked about that on prior streams. We had always said Robert Taylor could be an option to trade. Why? Because he's not signed yet, and you could get something back for him. Now that he's signed to a longer-term deal, I think, not to say that he's not going to get traded, because we've seen Inter Miami sign players, right, Will, and then 2 days later trade them. We saw that with Bryce Duke, and we saw that with another player. So, correct, yeah. with Kamal Miller when we traded him over to Portland. So I'm not saying, hey, it's off the table that Taylor's gone, but I think what Taylor has showed over the last month with these absences that they've had is he's a player that right now you cannot take out of the lineup. He's very, very crucial on that left wing, and he's shown that he can, kind of command a good partnership with Jordi Alba on that left side. Now, lucky for you and I, we're not Tata Martino. We don't have to make the choice of who plays that left wing position, whether it be Matias Rojas, who, like you said, plays better in the midfield, whether it be Diego Gomez when he comes back. So you can get your best players in there. You've seen Diego Gomez in the Olympics play a more, kind of attacking role. He scored a goal in the game yesterday. So he can play that role. Again, I see him as more of a box-to-box, but lucky for you and me, we don't have to make that choice because, look, Tata Martino is a lucky guy right now to have that choice. I think the only negative on the team right now, and you mentioned, is Campana. We've had conversations about him before. We're not confident in him. He occupies a DP spot. He does not give you what you need for somebody who occupies a DP spot. So, like both you and I agree, he should be bought down or traded, or something should be done, because Inter Miami could possibly do something with that DP spot, or bring in another U22 with the new rules that are coming into play. So you've seen Inter Miami be very active in the market, especially with the young kids. So I wouldn't be, kind of surprised if they go that way for a center back, or maybe later on in the year when Diego Gomez is gone and something does open up, because maybe they will go look for somebody to replace Diego Gomez. But I don't think they'll go look for a left winger this year.
Well, and also, too, with them changing that rule now to where you can have 3 DPs and U22s regardless of what the third DP is, that changes everything. Because when Farias comes back next year, they don't have to worry about getting rid of him unless they sign. Well, actually, they don't have to worry about getting rid of him no matter what, because they're going to be selling Diego Gomez. So that won't be an issue. And so they're going to get a nice chunk of change, $18 million. Now, I would assume that they're not going to receive that money until he actually leaves in the winter, right? So they're not going to have that money to play with right now. But
I would assume so.
Yeah, but honestly, Danny, though, if they were to buy Campana down and then try, spend maybe some of that money in advance of, plan for it to get a DP in here who could be a real game changer, I would honestly think they would try to go all in this year, do whatever it takes to get this MLS Cup, because even though a lot of these guys will be back next year, you don't know what Messi's health status is going to be. He's obviously getting older. He's getting more injuries than he's ever had the last year. And it's just because of age. It's harder to stay healthy when you're older, and it's a longer recovery, right? So I think that I would not be surprised. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm not saying anybody's told me this. I'm just saying I believe there could be a possibility where they really go all in and try to get have someone up their sleeve we don't even know about yet, to really put all the cards on the table. And I was told this, though. I can tell you this. I was told when Inter Miami caught word of Griezmann becoming more likely to go to LAFC, that they said that they need to do something, because if they don't, they're limiting their chance of winning. They want to respond to that move with something to try to counter it.
Well, it hasn't happened yet, right, Will? So Inter Miami still has some time to wait and see what happens. I think as it stands right now, when you compare the LAFC roster with the addition of Giroud, and obviously with Buanga and with Kike Oliveira, that's a formidable attack. I mean, that's a really, really, really good attacking line. And not only that, but you have Bogus right, sitting behind Giroud. That's something that Inter Miami doesn't have. They don't have a 9 that is as good as Bogus sitting behind Suarez. So could they, be looking for something like that? That's where I think I would go, Will, if I was the GM, or the sporting director of Inter Miami. Is I think I would look to buy down Campana, trade Campana, do something, but bring in a 9 that if something were to happen to Suarez, you have that confidence that you can still go out and win everything. I have no doubt, Will, they're 100% all in, especially with the move that they just made to acquire another international slot. There's no doubt in my mind they're all in. They've, won 21 out of the last 24 points without Messi. They sit on top of the entire MLS. They have a chance to make history in terms of the Supporters' Shield points. There's no doubt that Jorge Mas and his team want to win the plate, win the MLS Cup, and go all in. So I have no doubt. Now, whether that be a winger or a 9, I don't know, but again, my money's on a 9.
I'll be honest though, I just have I'm a little nervous, man. If they get Griezmann and they have Giroud and they have Buanga, I get nervous about LAFC. I think LAFC is the favorite to win MLS Cup this year. They might not win the Supporters Shield because it's a little too late. Inter Miami has the clear advantage right now in the Supporters Shield driver's seat. But when it comes to the MLS Cup, which is a trophy you and I value more,
correct.
I don't know any team that's going to beat them, because it's like we've never seen that type of quality assembled on an MLS team. And the thing that separates them from Inter Miami is that a lot of their key players are younger. Griezmann's only 32. Giroud is older than everybody on Inter Miami. He's older than Messi. He's older than Suarez. He's still really good, though, and he's still quality for his age. He hasn't really slowed down at all. Honestly, some people think he's actually getting better with age.
Well, and I don't know if you heard the comments that he made. I think Fabian Rankel, one of our close friends, he interviewed him over the weekend or a couple of days ago, and he was asking him, if he had talked to Zlatan, about his time here, and he mentioned, yeah, there was some rumblings about, him coming, Giroud, I'm talking about coming to LA Galaxy a couple of years ago. It wasn't the right time, but he felt like he wanted to go to LAFC. And when he talked to Zlatan said, hey, it's a league that's wide open and they want to score goals because that's what the fans want to see. So Giroud has proven over his entire career that he's a finisher. If you give him the ball in front of the net, the guy's a proven finisher. So, kudos to the LA front office to bring him. Doesn't matter his age. Look, in the MLS, I'm not, especially if you're a forward, I'm not that concerned about your age. We've seen the defense, and that's not me talking negatively about the defense. It's just the defense is not there. They're not, the interest in the MLS is not in defending. It's more in attacking and scoring. There's not a lot of teams that are going to keep clean sheets in the league. So again, Giroud's going to have plenty of opportunity to score, and if he has a full season under his belt next year, he could contend to be the Golden Boot. It's very possible, especially with the team that LAFC is assembling. The only negative or the only weakness I see on LAFC is their defense. They don't have the strongest defense, although it's a serviceable defense. But the intriguing from the player that they signed from Nottingham Forest, or the player they signed from Nottingham Forest, that really intrigued me. Because if I'm not mistaken, he's a defender, isn't he?
He's a
midfielder. Okay, he's a midfielder. So again, they're adding to the midfield, but they'll get their weakness is defense. So that final, if it is LAFC Miami, goals galore. If you are Don Garber, or if you are an MLS fan, that's got to be the final you're hoping for, right?
Yeah, of course. It's a rated. Imagine me and you doing a live stream for that.
If you're not there.
If you're not there, yeah,
No, you got to be. If that's the game and it's in Miami, you're coming down here. I got you on my. I got an extra room here. Not a problem. I'll take you to the game. We're going, buddy. We're going. That's something that you don't miss.
No, I know.
Messi's first MLS Cup. You can't miss that.
Well, let me ask you this: what if it's in LA? Are you going to go then?
Still going, man. We're going. I got a buddy that lives in LA. We can crash at his house. We're still good, Will. We're still good.
Yeah, listen, I definitely, man, that would be interesting. But, these things never go the way we think, right? The chances are one of the teams will make it, but the other team, it won't be the same, both of them. It'll be Miami and the Galaxy, or Columbus Crew and LAFC. That's what the final will end up being. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what ends up happening. There's still a lot of time left, right? Even when this tournament's over with, there's still going to be 10 matches of MLS games left. There's still a lot of time. It honestly is kind of overwhelming. You feel like even after this, like, okay, well, things are starting to slow down. Nope, 10 more games and then the playoffs, right? We still got some more stuff to do. Now, let me ask you this. Do you think Messi plays in this tournament? They said that Jake Evans said today that he got the boot off of his foot. They said it was starting to look better. Is there any chance, 3 weeks until the final, any chance that Messi plays if they make it to the final?
I don't think Inter Miami would have put him on the roster just to sell tickets, although a lot of folks probably would think that. I can tell you Suarez has come out to say recently publicly that he's going to be back sooner than folks think. So, look, if they get to the final and he's 80%, I don't see how he doesn't play. He's the type of player where if he can get out there for something, he's going to want to be there to help his teammates. So I can see him playing if they reach the final. Now, before that, it's going to be a little tough just because obviously, grade 2 sprain. They gave him 4 to 6 weeks, and that would be really August 24th would be the game, and that would be the game that they would play against Cincinnati FC or FC in Cincinnati if one of them doesn't make it to the final. So it's going to be interesting to see. If they make the final, I think Messi plays. I think he'll be healthy enough to play.
So Messi, he got injured on the final, which was July 14th, I think. That's the day he got injured against Colombia. So, yeah, it's been almost 3 weeks since that injury. They say it's progressing well. Messi always – the thing is you don't want to rush him too quickly because of that final, because you'd rather have him for the regular season, right? You want to win the MLS Cup. You don't want to –
Yes and no. I'm okay with winning the Leagues Cup because the Leagues Cup gives you entry into the CONCACAF Champions League. And if you're the two-time champion of the League's Cup, don't you think that would resonate a little bit more within the international community when it comes to the Club World Cup in 2025? Now,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I'm putting it over the MLS Cup. Again, Inter Miami fan, I want the MLS Cup. That's the trophy you want. That's what you're going all in for. But if you get to the final, I think you got to go in. Any final, you got to play all in, and you got to play to win it. Especially when there's a $2 million cash prize, when there's another trophy at stake, and when there's the possibility of getting into an international tournament. I don't think there's any way that Messi doesn't play if he's able to play that game.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see because I personally, as a fan of the league, it's obviously more entertaining when he plays. I mean, think about how different this tournament feels compared to last year because he's not playing right now. How much bigger it would be. I mean, he brings that appeal. I mean, listen, I know me and you are
100%.
going to watch the games no matter what because we love watching, Liga MX MLS teams play. But the casual fan might not be as interested, or probably not as interested, without Messi on the field because of what he brings and the appeal and obviously how big of a star he is. So it does feel like the buzz is a little down. But here's the thing. I don't think the group stage was really that fun last year outside of the Inter Miami games because you were watching Messi play. They weren't as crazy. It really ramped up when the knockout stage. I think it's going to ramp up no matter what when that starts to happen because it'll be more exciting.
Well, and I think this year's group stage has been more exciting than last year's group stage. I've watched more games this year, and I've kind of engulfed myself, within what League Cup has been because I really wanted to say, hey, I'm going to give it 100% chance, and I'm going to watch as many games as possible. And I tweeted it the other night. I love it. It's literally we have games on every single day, except for yesterday. We had games on every day until like 1 a.m. I was watching as many games possible. I had multicast going on. Like I could, and look, some of the games have been, with a little bit left to be desired for, but most of the games, there's been, some fight. Even the games between Liga MX teams, the game the other night between Tigres and Puebla ended in a 2-1, 2-1 game, but there was a red card. The game was back and forth. So even those games are fantastic. There's always going to be some duds in a tournament, but I mean, there was some duds in the Euro Cup a couple, last month. There was some duds in the Copa America. So there's always some duds in every tournament, and not every game is going to be fun or exciting. But overall, I think this year, without Messi, the group stage has been a little bit more exciting than last year's. And no doubt will. I mean, when the knockouts start, that's when all the, the teams start barking at each other, the fan base start barking at each other, and who's going to, win this, and is Liga MX better or not? Obviously, MLS has won the group stage round, right, in terms of overall win versus losses. But when it counts, are they going to win, the knockout games? And that's where it's going to get fun, right?
Yeah, and it's a numbers game. I think MLS will definitely have the advantage with the teams qualifying for the knockout round. So I think MLS should win this again. They obviously won it last year. Now, the question is, do you think that Liga MX teams, from what you've seen, seem to be as into it as they were last year? Because some teams kind of look like they are on cruise control. Some teams look like they're not really taking this tournament as serious as they did last year.
Yeah, I think there's some teams that might be on cruise control, and that could just be a result of the fact that they're just starting their season. They kind of, are getting into the groove of things. But I think the bigger teams, and I think you'll see that again more in the knockouts, the Chivas, the Americas, the Cruz Azul, the teams who have, bigger fan bases, I think they're going to have more pressure to win this tournament. And you're going to see them try a little bit harder when it comes down to the knockout stages. Overall in the group stage, one win almost basically gets you into the knockout stage in some of these groups. So that's probably why they're not taking it serious. But I would expect them to take it serious when it comes to the knockouts.
So, do you think who is your favorite to win Leagues Cup right now?
I honestly don't know because we haven't seen America play, and America to me is kind of the wild card here. I've seen Columbus Crew play. I think Columbus Crew can make it very far, but Columbus Crew is also in a very tough bracket because they could, depending on what happens in this game right now between Inter Miami and Tigres, Columbus Crew could potentially face one of those two to have to get into the semifinal. And that's not an easy game. Now, FC Cincinnati is on the top part of the bracket. So again, whoever wins or loses this game is going to have to face FC Cincinnati. So I'm not sure in terms of the east side of the bracket what's going on. I haven't seen America play, but I'll tell you this. I think coming out of the east, it's going to be one of between Tigres, Inter Miami, Columbus, or FC Cincinnati. That's what I think. That's what I've seen. And especially if Lucho can come back and play. If Lucho cannot come back and play for FC Cincinnati, I don't think they go as far as the next game. He's been key, and he's been injured lately, and it's shown at least this season that when he doesn't play,
they're in trouble.
They don't win. So
yeah, no, and when he plays, before he got hurt, that stretch he had, he was the best player in the league. I think he was. He was playing better than anyone in the league. He was the chances he was creating. He was spinning defenders' heads, dribbling all around him. His control. He's playing in top form, probably better. Well, last year he was really good too. I mean, he was obviously MVP of the league, but he's just playing on another level. This is the best run of play he's had the last 2 years of his career, and it's beautiful to see. You need more players like that.
100%. That's the type of players that you want to see in this league. That's the way that this league is going to progress, and folks are going to continue watching to see those types of guys.
I'll be right back. I'm going to use the restroom real quick. Here's a good question for you, Danny. He had a question about the weird formation with Inter Miami. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I'll take a look. I didn't check it out, but let me check it out right now. On the weird formation that you're talking about, let me look at the schedule and at the lineup here, and I'll take a look at what they've got going on. So yeah, I mean, it looks like a 4-1-4-1. It's a pretty traditional lineup. Kind of weird, for Tata Martino to play this. It's been traditionally a 4-3-3, at least over the last, I would say, 6, 7, 8, 9 games, where the back line is the normal back line. Calendar is your normal keeper. Yannick Bright's been playing that defensive midfield, but you've seen different players within that defensive in that midfield with Yannick Bright. You've seen a combination of Matias Rojas with Yannick Bright and Redondo. You've also seen a combination of Gomez with Redondo and Yannick Bright. So again, you've seen a lot of these different combinations. And sorry that my light turned off. Unfortunately, ran out of battery. It is a interesting lineup that Tata Martino chose to go with. I think it has to do with the fact that it's a team in Mexico who's known for scoring a lot of goals. And he's probably looking at going a little bit more defensive, and that's why he went out with the 4-1-4-1. But it's not a weird lineup or anything. There's a lot of teams in the world that use it. It's just a more defensive lineup, and you kind of have almost like a sweeper. Yannick Bright turns up into being a sweeper of that midfield line. So that's essentially what is going on there.
I appreciate you coming on, Danny. I know you have to run, man. Thank you so much for swinging by. And also, guys, listen, he hasn't been on in a little bit, but me and him are going to be doing another live stream together in the near future. So just, be on standby for that. Before you leave, where can people follow you at?
They can follow me at Danny Solana 5, just like my name is spelled right there, DANISOLANA 5 on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. On Instagram, I'm always dropping stuff about MLS, supporting Will, and also on the other podcasts and stuff that I'm on. Will, you got to tell me before I get out of here, where can I get one of those shirts, man?
You can get them in the link below. I actually have a tab on my page. There's a store tab. You can find them there. I think it's on the website's called The Fourth Wall. Got all kinds of different colors. Pretty good deals, man. Very affordable. Only the shirt's only like $19, man. Nothing.
I'm gonna get on there. I like representing all the podcasts that I get to participate on. So I've got stuff from the Battered Herons. I got stuff from my This Is Football podcast. I got to get an MLS Move shirt. So I'm definitely gonna get on there after I eat the lasagna that I just cooked with my family. Apologize, I can't stay on with you longer, but my son will kill me if I don't watch the rest of the game with him. So I appreciate you for letting me on, and can't wait for the next one. Let's get one done, brother.
Always, man. Always appreciate you coming on, Danny. Thank you so much. Hey, enjoy the rest of your night, and hopefully your team can make a comeback.
Appreciate it, Will. Have a good one, man.
Good night. See you, man. As our friend Danny Solana, always nice to see him. Normally he does a lot of these streams with me. Had some family in though. I understand. Wanted to watch the game with his family. Always interested to hear what he has to say. Inter Miami's not looking so hot, guys. Not looking so hot. Trying to fix this. It's black screen for some reason again. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who actually comes out on top of this. Like he had mentioned and I said earlier, we don't know what Club America is at this point, how good they are. Are they? A lot of people think they're the best team in this tournament. We haven't seen them play yet. Tigres looks really good tonight, but this is kind of a weird circumstance because they got some players missing. Inter Miami's got some players missing. This isn't really the best. This isn't really the best test to see which of the two teams are better. I mean, Inter Miami's got like 4 starters missing. Tigres has got a couple starters missing. Not the best comparison for what is to come. I think I was going to do a stream tomorrow night for the Chivas LA Galaxy game, but I think I'm going to probably take that one off because I've just been doing so many live streams lately. I think I'm going to take a day off, just kind of unwind, relax, reset. Just been doing so many of these lately. I really need a break, honestly. I think I've done 5 streams in the last 3 days. So I think I'm going to take tomorrow night off, to be honest with you. I'll have to check what the schedule is. I might try to do one on Monday or Tuesday, but I think I'm going to take tomorrow night off. I don't think I'm going to do the Chivas LA Galaxy game. And then when the knockout round starts, which I think is knockout stage starts, I want to say the 5th or the 6th. Could be wrong about that. Let me look and see what the dates are on this. Whenever the knockout starts, we're going to be doing several streams because, obviously higher stakes, see what the teams do. You lose, you're out. So things are going to get a lot more interesting once we get to that knockout round. Okay, so the knockout round starts on, looks like it's August 7th is when the knockout round starts. August 7th. Austin FC is going to play the first. We don't know who they're going to play yet, but Austin FC is going to play the first knockout game. Should be interesting to see what happens with that. And then Club America plays their first match on August 9th, which is next Friday, I think. No, I'm sorry. Next Friday. It'll be an interesting game. I might live stream that game, see what Club America's, see how good they are. Obviously, a lot of people, like I said, been hyping them up, see if they're as good as people say. Things are going to get very interesting in the next 2 weeks for MLS. So you're really are going to see some things ramp up with the transfer market and trades with teams because they're going to try to have. There's going to be some teams that are going to try to make a push for the Leagues Cup and obviously make some roster adjustments for MLS to make the playoffs the last 2 months of the season. So there's going to be a lot of movement in MLS. I'd say the next 2 to 3 weeks, you're going to see a lot of teams making some moves. I've said this a couple times, but the moves have been delayed because of Copa America and the Euros and the Olympics. There's so many tournaments this summer, so there's going to be some movement ramping up in the next 2 weeks. I would say a lot of MLS teams are going to be making some moves. Should be interesting and fun to see. Wouldn't be surprised to see Atlanta United make a couple more moves. But I will say this too, like about Atlanta United specifically. I tweeted this earlier. If Patrick Vieira officially does not get the Atlanta United or U.S. men's national team job, he's going to be the favorite for the Atlanta United job. He's going to be the favorite to get that job, which would be a good hire. I'd like to see what he can do in MLS again. He's obviously been in Europe for 6 years now. See what he can do in MLS after a 6-year departure. League's a lot different than when it was when he was here 6 years ago. I think that they will give him the resources to be successful. I know he wants to come back to America, so we'll see what he can. We'll see what he can do at Atlanta United. A lot of job openings right now, honestly. Now, a good question is, who's going to be the next manager to be fired in MLS? Who is going to be the next manager in Major League Soccer to be fired? That's an interesting question. Seems like Cincinnati is a good regular season team, but they need another star for the postseason. Do you agree? I think that last year was really their first taste of like being an upper echelon team. So I want to see one more year of what they can do in the playoffs before I say that. Oh, what a pass. Was that Gressel? Damn, that was a beautiful pass. I want to see what they can do maybe one more year, but I know that they were obviously trying to get like Weston McKennie, so they were trying to add a little bit more power to the team. So I don't know. I think that they have enough to make some noise. It wouldn't hurt to add some more players. Who would you ideally want to add to Cincinnati? Who would you have in mind? Kevin Kelsey's been very good for them. The Venezuelan striker has been really good. Lucho's obviously good. Need some help at center back with Miazga being hurt. Who would you think they should like? Who's a player you would want them to sign that you think would help? Columbus is making some moves too. I think Columbus has a couple, maybe another move or two up their sleeve. I think Columbus is a team to watch out for. Some teams are doing nothing though. Some teams are just sitting on their hands and not doing any moves. Like, has Sporting Kansas City made a single move? Has the Rapids been rumored to make any moves this offseason? Has Montreal been rumored to make any moves this offseason? I mean, some of these teams are just sitting on their hands doing nothing. But that's why they get left behind. That's why they don't win anything. Maybe another under the radar striker, possibly another Esamir Jim. Oh, South American Jim. Gotcha. Maybe. I don't know. I think that if they need star power though, they probably need someone a little bigger. I mean, Kevin Kelsey's been really good for them. Maybe someone a little more established with big tournament experience, someone who's played in big moments that can kind of like keep them even killed with these big moments in games. Now, when it comes to coaches, I think are on the hot seat that could get fired. I think that Peter Vermees has to be close to getting fired. I mean, they have just been so bad. They've been mediocre for so many years now. I think that he has to be one of the coaches that are on the chopping block, and I think that Frank Klopas also has to be one of the coaches on the chopping block because he hasn't been very good since he took over, and they've been a huge disappointment this year after spending a club record for Hugo Kuipers. Club record, and they still have sucked this year. The Crew need a center back. Yeah, they do. They need to have some. They need to solidify their back line. The attack is fine, but yes, they definitely need a center back to shore up their back line, especially with the teams. Here's the thing: if you're a team that doesn't have the attacking prowess of a Inter Miami, an LAFC, a Cincinnati, a Columbus, you need the defense to make up for it. You need to have above average MLS defenders. You need to have a very solid back line, and that's what they need to do. Is Carlos Vela still playing for LAFC? He's not. He's not playing for anyone right now. He is touring Europe with his wife, having a good time, living life. Hey, the crowd actually looks a lot better now. It looks like a lot of people's poured in. It doesn't look nearly as empty as it did earlier in the game. That's crazy. Looks way better. A lot of Tigres fans. Not as bad as it looked earlier. Carlos Vela is currently just enjoying life. He is going on European trips. He might re-sign with LAFC if a certain French international player comes to LAFC. He might follow him. Pretty good friends with that guy. Yes, Miami is losing. Yeah, I mean they are. And Gignac is about to come in. Sergio Busquets is coming in. Should be an interesting final 22 minutes or 22 minutes. Still can't believe Gignac is playing at almost 39 years old. It's crazy. Surprised we never saw him in MLS. There was rumors back in 2017 that the LA Galaxy were interested in him, but they chose to sign Jonathan Dos Santos instead. Makes you wonder what would have happened if they had signed Gignac instead of Dos Santos. Just finished watching Man United versus Liverpool. Liverpool won 3-0. Manchester United and Chelsea are screwed. Do you think that Liverpool is going to fall off with their new manager? His name slipped my mind, but obviously losing Klopp was a huge, huge loss. You think that they're going to take a step back, or do you think they're still going to be as good? Guys, make sure if you haven't already, like this stream, subscribe to the channel. We are 8 subscribers from 4,000. 8. That's it. 8 subscribers from 4,000. So share this video with a friend, like the video, subscribe, hit the little bell notification so you never miss a video. 8 subscribers is crazy to be away from 4,000. That is a huge accomplishment. We are getting closer and closer. Hopefully we hit that by tomorrow. I feel pretty good that we will. Feel very good that we will. Top 3 will be the same. Are you saying the Premier League top 3 will be the same? Yeah, probably. I think Manchester City is going to win it again because they always do. Until they don't win it, I will expect them to win it. The question is they going to win? Are they going to win the Champions League tournament that Pep's, he struggles to win? Probably won't win now. Madrid, they're probably going to win it for several years to come, honestly. I wonder if Ten Hag will be fired because, obviously he was in the hot seat with Manchester United after last year, and it sounds like he's not off to a good start this year either. If I were Pep, I would prioritize the UCL. Yeah, I mean, that's another thing. That's what's going to build his legacy is the Champions League. I mean, people already know he's a great manager, but he needs to have more Champions League trophies. He's only got 3. Ancelotti's got 5 now. So he definitely needs to start stacking those up or he's going to get left behind. Okay, there's a penalty. Campana, he was taken down. Is Campana going to take it? Okay, Pizarro got a yellow card. Wow. Oh yeah, that was definitely a red card or definitely a foul. Just pulled him down. About to be 1-1. I guess we're going into penalties probably, unless Tigres can pull one back with Gignac. Ten Hag is 100% gone by the end of the season. Oh yeah, for sure. Man City will be screwed once the 115 charges hit. 115 charges, yeah. Maybe. I don't know. They normally find themselves out of that situation most of the time. Okay, so they're going to go to VAR to see if this was an actual foul. Okay, it's definitely a penalty. They're shooting the refs shooting them away. Who's taking this? Is Campana taking this? Wow, Campana's taking it. I don't trust Campana. Let's see if he can clutch this. Gignac is trying to get in his head. No mime work from Guzman. Oh, did he make it? He must be ahead of me. Campana converts the PK. Inter Miami ties it up 1-1 in the 74th minute. It feels so weird seeing Guzman bald now. It feels weird seeing him with no hair. Well, let's see what happens. It's 1-1 Tigres Inter Miami. We'll see what happens or see if this goes to penalties. A lot of people thought before the game it was going to go to penalties. I still think Tigres will probably end up winning just because of how good they've looked and how dangerous they've looked all game long. And then Gignac is obviously in the match now, so I would probably still favor Tigres in this match. Looks like Tigres are starting to play with a little bit more urgency. Looks like they were kind of sleepwalking there a little bit towards the end. What's he doing? I like shark fin Guzman. Yeah, that's like a tradition, right? That was iconic. It just feels weird and boring seeing him with no hair. Guzman with the shark fin hair was I mean that's what legends are made of. So yeah, so the odds are they're saying it's going to go to PKs. I mean, I think that's what's going to happen too. And Miami should be the favorite if it goes to PKs. MLS teams have a clear advantage when it comes to PKs in this tournament, at least. Oh, what a pass from Rojas! Oh, Campana so close. What a save by Guzman! What a save! That was deflected too. That was close. God, what a terrible corner. What the hell was that? This could be an interesting last 15 minutes until we go to PKs. This could get interesting. I still think Campana needs a change of scenery. I think he would flourish if he went to another team, got a chance to be the full-time starter. Obviously, he's not going to start with Inter Miami with Suarez. It'd be nice to see him get a chance to go somewhere else and play and try to win the starting job. Sometimes players are good. They just need a change of scenery. Arsenal will challenge for the Premier League this year. That's a good chance that could happen. If it goes to PK, Tigres wins since Guzman has his tactics to get into their head. You talking about the The mime. Yeah, the mime is definitely gets into people's heads. Hold on one sec to send out a tweet real quick. Haven't been on Twitter much tonight. He trash talks every PK shot. Yeah. Yeah, I remember last year he did a really good job getting in their heads. Oh. Oh, Fonz, what are you doing, bro? Oh. I know Inter Miami looks like they might have some life. They look like they might have a chance to they might have a chance to sneak one squeak by and get this victory. That was out. Come on. Arsenal will win a trophy. May not be the Premier League, but they have more depth and got rid of some baggage. Still could get Gyökeres. Yeah, maybe. I thought Arsenal was going to win the last 2 years and they didn't. So I think these are the final subs for Tigres to make a push to win this game. The loser, if I'm not mistaken, plays the winner of the Pachuca Toronto game. Can Gignac be the savior? Oh God, Christoph is coming in. Oh God. Oh God. Christoph is washed on the shore. Washed. I mean, he is cooked. I mean, look at the guy. He's got gray hair. He looks like he's 50. Jesus. You know what's crazy is he's like 34. He looks like he's 54. Oh my God. They're gonna choke this away, aren't they? Ooh. That Gignac? Yeah, I think it was. No, it wasn't. Never mind. I think the Premier League top four will be City, Arsenal, Liverpool, and Tottenham. So you think Tottenham will return to the top four, or were they top four this year, or were they outside the top four? Let's see. Okay, so they were outside the top four. So you think that they're going to return to the top four? Aston Villa was number 4. God, this game is so sloppy. Wow. 7 minutes left in regular time. Probably going to be a couple minutes of stoppage time. Probably like 2 to 3 minutes, I'd say. Bro, what yo? Not sure. Great stream as always. Listening as I drive around, getting some stuff done. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Appreciate all you guys tuning in. These streams have been really fun the last couple nights. Like I said, 5 streams in 3 days. Won't be. I was originally going to be streaming the Chivas LA Galaxy game. Oh, what a goal! Is that Gignac? No, it's not Gignac. I keep thinking it's Gignac because nobody's. Oh my god, what a goal! Oh my god. Wow. Was that goal better than the Brunetta goal? What's his name? Vigon? What a goal. Wow. What honestly though, what could Calendar do right there? Honestly. You see what happens when Christoph comes on the field? You see what happens? That's what happens. He's shit. He's terrible. Is there a coincidence that is it a coincidence as soon as he comes on the field, this is what happens? Wow. So Tigres is going to win the group. Wow. Wow. My God, get Christoph out of this league, dude. I mean, Jesus, he literally gets on the field for 2 minutes and then gives up a. I mean, look how slow he is. He is terrible. I don't know if he could have played in MLS 1.0. Honestly, I don't know if he could have played in MLS 1.0. Let's see. Do you think they would eventually invite a few European teams, Leagues Cup, maybe conference level teams first? Probably not. I think they're going to probably keep it this way for a while. That was just embarrassing, honestly. But like I said, I can't blame Drake Callender because what is he supposed to do in that situation? What is he supposed to do in that situation when you got a rocket coming right at you because Christoph doesn't know how to mark a damn guy? Why is USL team not playing in the Leagues Cup? Because this is the MLS Liga MX only tournament. They don't want to give any credibility to USL. MLS despises USL. They don't want to help them in any way, shape, or form. They are trying to make sure that MLS reigns supreme and that they don't have any competition domestically. They don't want any competition domestically. I'm trying to find that goal so I can share it. That was crazy goal. Need a Rojas golazo right now. Need a famous Matias Rojas golazo. Seen him score many of those this year. MLS is the older brother that despises his younger brother from from Shining. Yeah, from Shining. Yes, yeah. But here's the thing: they don't even really a bicycle. Jesus. Yeah, I don't even think they consider them a brother. They're not even. They don't even consider them relatives or neighbors or wherever you want. They don't consider them anything. Honestly. Two minutes left plus stoppage time. We'll see if Inter Miami can tie it up. It is 2-1 Tigres in the final Leagues Cup group stage game. The winner will, I think, represent East 3, and then the loser will play the winner of Pachuca and Toronto. So looks like Inter Miami's going to play the winner of the Pachuca Toronto match. Come on. These crosses are terrible. Final minute plus stoppage time. Can they get the equalizer? Twenty seconds left of 20 seconds left in the game plus stoppage time. Both goals by Tigres were absolute bangers. Both goals were incredible. How is this team first in the East? Well, you got to give them somewhat of a break. They have several players missing, right? I mean, you know, all these guys that miss for international duty, all the guys that are missing for 5 minutes of added time. Crazy. Wow. Trying to make things interesting. I don't think you're getting your Rojas magic against Tigres. They got him marked when needed. Yeah, I don't think so. Not looking good so far. They've done a good job of neutralizing Matias Rojas. So Madrid have lost to Barca. Yes, it's good to see. They need a classic Alba cross into the box. Who's going to finish it though? I don't think. I don't think Alba's even out there anymore. Yeah, he got taken out. 2-1. Yep. Ooh, close. Afonso. Nice save by Guzman. Barcelona is winning the treble this season. Yes, I hope so. I like the energy, like the positivity. Maybe. Even though we did our boy Xavi dirty, screwed him over pretty bad. I hope so. I like the losing the treble. Oh, wait, see, how's it my? Oh, okay. I thought you were saying they were losing. How are they losing? They have a lot of players out right now. A lot of players are out right now because international duty, resting players because they've advanced already. Suarez didn't even travel with the team. I think Barca will win the Champions League. I wish, that'd be nice. I think Madrid's going to win it again. They're stacked. First super team we've seen in a couple of years. Two and a half minutes of stoppage time left. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. Not looking good. 5 minutes. That's good. Oh, they already advanced. I thought they got eliminated. No. They didn't get eliminated. Who was the team they played before? Was it Puebla? Maybe they got eliminated, if I'm not mistaken. Whoever the team was in this group got eliminated. Oh, these two teams are advancing. Are you watching Vancouver versus the Cholos, or are you watching Monterrey versus Pumas? Probably Monterrey versus Pumas, honestly. I think Vancouver. Actually, that's a good game because I think whoever wins that game advances. I don't know. I might switch back and forth. I have a wild take. Since Mbappe never won a Champions League at PSG with Neymar, Messi, etc., maybe he's cursed to never win a Champions League like how Kane won't win trophies. We've seen great players never win UCLs before. Maybe, but man, that team is so stacked. That team is stacked. One sec. Not looking good for us. One more chance. 30 seconds left in extra time. Or added time, excuse me. Oh, getting chippy again. Messi all day. Messi all day. I have Ronaldo at like number 4 all time. Messi's the GOAT. We're a little bit over the additional or the stoppage time. We'll see what happens. Is Redondo going to get a card? Interesting. Gonna blow the whistle after this kick. And that's the final whistle. Inter Miami loses to Tigres 2-1. Both teams advance to the next round of Leagues Cup, though, the round of 32. I appreciate you guys all sticking by, watch the game with me. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Be on the lookout because we will be doing another live stream in the near future, maybe the next couple of days. Taking tomorrow off, but I'm dropping a video. Make sure you subscribe, like this video, hit that little bell notification so you never miss a video. Until next time, I will see you all soon.